Hi everybody. For National Preparedness Month, we're going to talk a little bit about a get home bag and or bug out bag. There's all kinds of scenarios, but think about this. You buy insurance for your home in case of a tornado. You buy a home insurance in case of a fire. The likelihood of those things happening are very small, but in the event that they happen, you would like yourself to be covered. Well, let's say there's some type of an event that happens. You're out, you're at work, kids are at school. It could be anything from a blizzard, which you would probably have a little bit of advance warning about, on to, we could go on with the list. These are very theoretical and the chances are very small. However, they are chances. What if Yellowstone National Park blows up? What if there's a nuclear attack? What if there's a solar flare like the Carrington event that happened in 1859? You can look up all these things. Granted, they're all teeny tiny chance. But I was a Boy Scout as a kid. First thing, be prepared. And I'm showing these two books here. Anybody that was in the Boy Scouts back in the 1970s, 80s, and into the 90s actually learned some survival skills. Today they teach you other things, which is good for another subject, but not today. If you were in the military, you have some basic skills. Knowledge is going to be your best friend. So, if you want to study and get knowledge, I highly recommend you start out with these two books right here. These two will teach you immense amounts of information. Once again, knowledge is the most important thing you can have. This here, little SAS survival guide. This here has all kinds of quick tips as a quick little reference. This one I do keep with me. Now I'm going to do a second video and show some of the things in here. But in the event that there's a disaster and you're at work, and for some reason, let's say there was a nuclear EMP, right now in the world there's 15,000 nuclear warheads. So let's talk about nuclear options here. If any one rogue country gets mad at the United States, they detonate one nuclear bomb up in the atmosphere over the center of the United States. You can look this stuff up yourself. Scientists in the government admit and say that it would have devastating effects on electronics. Perhaps cars would quit working. There would be gridlock on the highways. You're going to have to walk home. If there was a solar flare like the Carrington event, it has happened in recent history. When I say recent, 1859, we've had small solar flares that affect aircraft that are in the air, other electronics, radio disturbances. These things do happen. Once again, I admit that the chances are teeny tiny. However, they are there. So you're at work. And here, I have animals to take care of. I live about 40 miles from where I work. Something happens. I need to get home. I realize just through knowledge what has happened. Most people in the inner cities won't realize, and after about a week, it's going to be total chaos. If they can't get food, if their EBT cards don't work, look at the cases where that happened a couple years ago. The EBT cards quit working just for a weekend, and it was total chaos. Well, I'm going to want to get out of there and get home where I can take care of myself, take care of my property, my animals, and not have to deal with those issues. We're going to talk a little bit about, in this other video coming up, things that I find are important. Another thing to consider along the way is, in the event of something like that, and you just, even if you live in the inner city, if you do, you want to make some preparations that you can kind of lock your place down. All the people that are on psychotic medications, when they run out of their medicine for a couple days, they are going to be total loons. When people run out of food for a couple days, they're just going to, who knows, there's going to be literally riots potentially There were a couple years ago when they couldn't get food, and then some of the stores were saying, "Here, we'll just give you food," and they were just pulling up carts heaped up, taking advantage of the system. So to avoid all of that stuff in those cases, we're going to want to get back home. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this, and we'll get into the second part 2 video.